Difficult women.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to Difficult Women.
Oh, yes. Welcome to Difficult Women. I thought you were telling me welcome.
Well, welcome to Charleston. We're in Charleston right now.
Holla, Charleston.
One of our favorite places to visit.
Yeah.
We're doing our show, the Reformed Horse Show.
Yep.
That's not really what we call it. That's what I just called it right now.
Yep. We've been here. This is day 2. Mm-hmm. We're sitting in one of my buddy's houses downtown. So if you hear a little bit of echo, it's because it's a big house.
It's a real big house.
A real big house.
We are very far apart right now.
Very far apart. It's
podcast.
like, just imagine a long dining table and Katie's at one end and I'm at one end and we're potting.
Giant turkey legs.
Yeah.
like kings. Just kidding. We don't. I wish we did.
But yes, this is a pre-recorded episode because we can't stop, won't stop bringing you the pods.
Right.
So we brought the equipment on the road with us.
Yeah. On top of it.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Yep.
Feeling good.
I feel great.
It's really great.
It's
nice
so
to
hot
be-
outside.
It's very
we
hot
have
outside.
to stay inside.
It is, yeah. So feeling good in the air conditioning.
In the air conditioning.
But it's nice to be out of the city, out of New York
Oh
City.
my God. It is unbelievable. I feel like a different person when I leave New York.
Yeah.
I can just be my free hippie spirit.
Yeah.
I watered the plants outside.
Oh my God, that's
yesterday.
crazy.
It was
What's that
incredible. I don't know. I didn't even know when she was like, "Can you water the plants?" I was like, "Oh yeah." I was thinking I have to like fill up a bucket and bring it. No, they have a little hose out there.
A
That's
hose.
What,
I know.
That's what homeowners have. They have a hose outside
I
with
know.
with a spigot.
It's
It was
crazy.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Um,
I'm glad you had a good watering moment.
yeah. That actually, I should probably do that after the pod.
Do you have to water
this.
all the time?
Yeah, those hydrangeas.
No, I would just
right?
put rocks over that. Be like, I'm done.
Done.
Just put those like plastic flowers up and be like, hey, look, it looks pretty good. I don't know.
I just don't want them to come back from out of town and
Oh
have
no,
killed all
of
the
course.
flowers. Yeah.
No, that's
Did I mention they're not here? We have this whole house to ourselves.
yeah.
So
it's
partay.
been great. We're like rattling around this giant place. We don't know. Where are you, Marie?
Yeah.
We can't find each other.
Play hide and seek.
It's pretty good.
Well, episode 3.
Yeah, how exciting. This has been really fun. We've been getting some nice feedback from
We
everybody.
haven't. People have been emailing us, you guys.
I'm so excited. I love emails. I love mail. I love getting mail in any form. Mail is fun.
Yeah, please keep sending us some inspiring stories to difficultwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you have any questions you want us to address, or like I don't know, whatever you feel like asking us, we may not answer that
Nope.
if it's
We
too
may not
private,
have an answer,
but we
yes.
might try. We could try. You could ask us existential questions. I'd be down to try.
Katie can handle
I
those.
love those.
Yeah, I'll send you a GIF. A
That's
GIF
great.
or a GIF? I
GIF?
never know what
GIF
to
or
call
GIF?
it.
I
GIF,
don't know.
Jeff.
A Jeff.
Jiffy Jeff.
A
Jiffy
Jeff.
Lube. I'll send you a GIF.
I'll send you a Jeff.
Well, I'm excited. I'm so excited to talk about the issue at hand that we're going to be discussing today.
Yes.
And that's women in film.
Yes.
We're women in film.
We are women in film.
We have filmed, I was trying to count. How many videos do you think
We've done a
filmed?
lot of videos.
We have a lot.
We've done a lot of videos. We did a web series.
Journey to Greatness.
Journey to Greatness.
Guys, look it up on YouTube.
Choose your own adventure.
No,
Oh
you
no,
can't
it's
say
not.
that.
Oh, sorry, it's not. It's a tell us what to do web series. I forgot.
Pick
We're not
our
allowed to
destiny.
Say it.
Yeah,
pick
why
our
can't we say
destiny.
it?
Because we got a cease and desist letter saying
From
that-
the official Choose Your Own Adventure
yeah,
folks.
They're going to be starting a TV show or something.
Yeah. So
we're
our
not
little
allowed to
web
say that.
series was
So tell us which way to go web series. That's what we
Journey
call
to
it.
Greatness.
Yeah, it's
check that
pretty
out.
neat. And then also prior to doing the band, we were also doing
Yeah.
film projects outside of the band, which is kind of cool. So we've both been pretty well versed in the film world.
I love making
I do
videos.
too. Kind of going over this topic in my head, I was thinking about all the cool things that we've done together, but also separately, and like how much I really love putting film together.
Well, my web series that you are in the first
Yes,
episode,
that's
Ghosted
right.
Busters, folks, that
Yes.
I co-created with another friend of mine, and I directed, and it was awesome because it was mostly all ladies.
Yeah.
But yeah, women in film, it's we're still struggling.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely isn't. I mean, I think it's been pretty well, newsified. I don't know the word for that. Like
we're in the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty widely known that there's not as many female directors. There's not as many women in crew positions. There's not as many women producers, cinematographers, gaffers,
sound engineers,
best
mixers,
girls,
editing.
So are you a best boy if you're a woman?
Ooh.
I mean, that's already,
girl.
It just goes to show that it's already like gendered like that.
Yeah.
So,
it's a man's club. Let's just say.
It
Film,
is kind of a man's club.
the industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men.
But it's been but it's shifting a little.
It is
and
shifting.
It's been kind of exciting. And I've been, even in female writers too, it's been interesting to see like some really great female writers. A show that has like, my stepmother of all people recommended it to me. And I started watching it like last Christmas. But Fleabag.
Oh.
I binge watched the second season. I know you've just started watching it.
Because of you. You told me how many.
Yeah. Good.
So she wrote it?
So she wrote it too.
Oh,
and I should have looked this up beforehand, but like there's something to like she wrote some sort of like it was like a one woman show in New York. Mm-hmm. So I think it was like a play or something originally or some sort of storytelling show, and that they like turned it into this series, and it's so well written and so creative and so well done. I don't even know.
I've never seen anything like it. There's things that they do there's so many act outs and like just weird editing things and talking really directly creative. To the camera. Or the second episode, I believe that spoiler alert, she like there's on the subway, the people are screaming and doing that thing, and then she turns to the camera and says, I'm about to start my period.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so fucking
brilliant.
cool.
There's another I won't spoil it at all, but there's another cool moment later people have been talking about in the second season where an older woman talks about menopause. And it's like,
wow.
It blows your mind because you're like, what? Ooh, you never see this in film. You never see a woman talking about menopause like from a woman's perspective, like that wasn't written by a guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like some like over exaggerated weird like version of what they think a period is or menopause is or women are or whatever. So it's I don't know. It's weird how mind boggling it is to see your life kind of reflected back up to you, and you're like, oh, I see why this is important.
I just love that it's showing a woman who likes sex.
For sure. Yeah.
Like a lot of sex. I mean, I'm only on third episode.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I don't know
where that goes.
going.
But
I don't know where it's headed. But
yeah, but I mean,
I did have to Google Fleabag because I was like, oh, well, Fleabag is a bad person, right?
Yeah, just like a scummy person, right?
Yeah. So when I looked up, I was like, okay, good. I knew what that meant.
Oh,
but like I would.
You're right. I looked it up and I was right.
But I didn't know if it was. Yay! Check gold star. So she's the Fleabag.
Yeah, that's her. Okay. And I was actually talking to my therapist about this show because she also really likes it. And sometimes we waste too much time at therapy talking about
you have 45
TV.
minutes and you talk about TV.
But we like relate it back to me.
Oh, are you a Fleabag? Are you a Fleabag?
I am for
No.
sure. Absolutely. I think
You're
that
like her?
we kind of all are in like certain ways. I think that's what I really like about the show is it's like she
I
does
guess
some
you're
like
right.
pretty intense stuff in the show that maybe I would have certainly it's different things. I have different things, but that sort of feeling of like you feel like a Fleabag or you feel like whatever. I think that's like a really interesting. It's weirdly relatable, even though she has these very specific things that happen to her,
right?
Or that she participates in. I was gonna say, and the other plus side of it, if you like this kind of thing, it's an English show.
Oh,
and it's old
English
accents.
That's what I
talking
yes.
in English.
I thought it was like a 1920s like spinster type like. Because her hair is so short and she kind of looks like a little
They were
flapper
talking
girl.
about how like this summer they think that like that haircut's going to take over big time because she's like so cute in it.
Oh, it looks good.
She looks cute.
I accidentally got that haircut a year ago.
And it was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it really was.
Okay.
It looked really good.
I cried.
I know
it
you
was
did.
One of
you
those.
were like, it's terrible. And then you sent me like the most beautiful selfie. I was like, fuck you. It's like, fuck you so hard.
Well, because I had said that I wanted 2 inches and he took 5. You got to listen.
But then you looked amazing. So it worked out great.
I didn't have my glasses on. And so when I put my glasses back on after the haircut, I was like, wow!
It's like a scene out of like a princess movie.
Yeah. But you know what? Hair grows back. My mom always told me that when she cut my hair all fucked up. You know what? Whoops a doops. It'll grow back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was trying to think how we could discuss our own experiences as filmmakers in the industry. and the pushback they like to talk about.
Oh, right.
The pushback we've received. We're just trying to give our personal experiences.
Sure. Well, we've had some interesting experiences of women like working with other men. Some experiences have been really awesome. We've had some really, really good experiences with some of our. And I was thinking about this, and this is our bad. We've never had a female DP.
Right.
We've never worked with women like crew members.
Right.
So that's our bad.
Right.
And I was thinking that we need to change that immediately. And that the next project we do, we definitely want to.
Micah Fox, we're coming for you.
Oh my God.
She is a comedian in New York and is directing for Comedy Central. And she's so funny.
Probably too big for us now.
I messaged her. She was like, yeah, girl.
Okay,
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm into it.
We're coming for you.
Oh my God.
She's so funny. We'd be so lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, our bad. Next one.
We just like perpetuating this like terrible.
It's our problem. We did it.
So if we're having trouble with some of these gentlemen, it's our fault. And we did have some trouble with a person where we were working on a project, and they just started like gaslighting us like crazy, and we were trying to be reasonable, and then they were not as reasonable. And it really became a problem. And one of the things so aside from all the drama that kind of happened with that person, the thing that was like the most painful about the whole situation was that when he was spreading rumors behind our backs with some of our friends, and they were believing him, and they weren't believing how egregious his behavior had been because he was a dude, and like they thought we were being we were exaggerating and that we were like really causing the problems and that we needed to relax, and it was just let him be like that, you know? And then it wasn't until those same people started having problems with him too,
same problems,
that they came to us, and luckily that we have wonderful friends, and they came and said, we're sorry, we were wrong.
Right.
But that was really painful to like not be believed.
Right. And I think the thing that I still kind of get heated about in my brain was when we were talking to a friend of ours, and he said, well, Marie, I mean, do you want to be a director? Do you want that credit? Like, because that's kind of what the debate was, is like, who directed this thing? And we had it in writing and whatever. I'm not going to go into it really. But that question of like, well, Marie, did you want to be the director? And I'm like, yeah, I was the director. We were the director. We directed the whole thing.
Right.
So why is this up for debate?
Why
are you asking me that? Of course, yes.
Yeah, why?
But I was so stumped by because we're also the executive producers, we're helping editing, we're the writers, so it was just like it kind of was like a small thing of like, well, I mean, if it's going to be such a big fight, like, no, he can have that, but I regret that. Because yes, I do want to be a director. I am a director.
Also, if you do all the work, then why wouldn't you get the credit?
Right.
You know what I mean, and we did do all the work. So why were we just happy to give it away because he was strong arming us?
Right.
And then everyone would, that people would go like, well, you should just let him have it. And it's like, well, wait, because he's a baby,
right? Because he's a big baby boy, boy.
Yeah, it was really strange, and I don't know. It was a really disheartening experience. The whole experience.
Mm-hmm. But we learned a huge thing, and that is to get everything in writing before, you start the project.
Yeah.
Understand what people's roles are, the percentages of profit, if there are any. Let me just tell you.
There were not
any profit.
There was never going to be any profit on this.
Yeah. That's really where it all began, because this one person got scared about that we were going to make all this money from it, which, you're always hopeful, but.
I mean, it'd be great. That would be a great problem to have, that we were making too much money.
Yeah.
But
from that YouTube.
Yeah. From the YouTubes.
But get everything in writing. I mean, and I think it made us stronger, together. I think we were always on the same page, which was really great.
That's always good.
We usually are.
Yeah.
Which is
great.
So amazing.
So lucky. No, but I think that's true. And then when I had said something about that to somebody about like, oh, well, the moral of the story is always getting it writing, and they're like, well, but then it's like not as like chill, and you're like,
right.
Yeah, but then if you get fucked over later, then what,
Right.
So I'd rather be less I mean, it's like a kind of a lose-lose too, because they're like, well, you're like a bitchy uptight princess if you like want a contract, but if you don't get a contract, they like fuck you over. So like, I'd rather be the bitchy uptight princess at the top, and then be chill and have fun on set and like not worry about it.
But it's a business. We're not fucking around, y'all.
Don't touch my money.
Don't touch my money. I don't have much of it.
My money.
Yeah.
That was very infuriating.
Yeah.
We got a mean email about it. when we were in the airport once
Yeah.
or something, and I was like, my head almost exploded. I was like, oh no, bitch, this is
That was a fun. We picked up the rental car, all heated up. Drove. Yeah, it was
annoying.
That was, yeah.
But you know, lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with us. That's the lesson. Don't fuck with us.
We will burn
because
you to the ground.
we have some lawyers.
Yeah, and we're nice. We're nice girls.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong.
Right.
We're very fair and nice, but we will cut you if you if you fuck with us. Oh.
Anyway, we'd like to work with you, Micah Fox.
Yeah, or if there's actually if you're a female director, especially
Yes.
in the New York City
Yes.
area, send us a reel.
Yeah,
you
we're
wanna
really
work with
looking
us.
forward to make our next music video, and we're looking for a female director. So if you're,
And
yeah,
honestly, if you're from somewhere else too, let us know, because the more names we have at our disposal, people come up to us saying like, "Do you have any recommendations for directors?" If we can start passing some good ladies' names around, that would be great.
or if you have a lot of money and you want to fly to New York to film it, you can sleep
fly
on my
us to you.
Yeah, fly
wherever,
us to
where
you.
you live.
Yeah.
Iceland. Let's film we'll do Justin Bieber it, and we'll film a video in Iceland.
Did he just
Oh
film
my
it?
God,
Is that
it's
the most
amazing.
recent one?
I don't know if it's the most recent. Apparently, it's ruining Iceland though. Like 'cause all these like all these
the believers,
the believers are coming out to like see the like where he shot it, and like Iceland's like, please go back.
Oh, poor Iceland.
Oh God, Iceland's kind of going through it right now after WoW Airline. The demise of WoW Airline.
So that's gone
It's like,
too?
Yeah, it's gone. So it now nobody's
Wow.
going to Iceland. Yeah,
I'm surprised. That's a bummer.
it was a huge bummer, but yeah, I don't know. It's a catch-22. They don't want too many Justin Bieber fans, but they would like some more tourism.
Yeah, I would love to go. I want to see the Northern Lights. I want to see the sky, all pretty colors.
With climate change, you might be able to see the northern lights across the whole globe.
Oh,
I don't know if
amazing.
I don't know if that's climate change or if it's like the electromagnetic fields coming out of the sun. There was like a whole thing about that. Anyway, back to women in film.
Nice segue.
Thank you. I'm very good at that. Well, we were thinking about like what are the actual statistics, right? Because you're like, oh, well, but like, you know,
Women be bitching.
yeah, women be complaining about so much shiz. So we found just some quick facts. We're not going to like do. So for the next 40 minutes, we're just going to read numbers. I'm just kidding. That would be so boring. No, but just a couple numbers that we thought were like, on the top 100 grossing films of 2018, women represented 4% of directors. It's very
Really?
little, very little. 15% of writers, 3% of cinematographers, 18% of producers, 18% of executive producers, and 14% of editors. Those are very low numbers. And just to like give you some sort of sense, it's like, well, is it because only 10% of women watch movies? No, women account for 51% of the moviegoers. So a little over half.
I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but that's more than men, right?
A little bit. It's a little bit. It's like one more. No, not one.
But that's astounding. It's
pretty
2019.
crazy. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, I don't know. We haven't made it yet over in that end. We haven't, there's a lot of obstacles there.
Well,
Just
in
patriarchy.
90, what were you saying?
Patriarchal.
Oh, I thought you said beef jerky. I got excited.
Some beef jerky obstacles where the ladies do not bring enough beef jerky to set.
Oh, that's the problem. We fixed it. Well, in 91 years of the Academy Awards, only 5 women have been nominated or recognized as Best Director category.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. So, let's work on that. But that's, you know what? You know who I blame for that? Us.
Oh, okay.
Us for not hiring more women for our musical videos.
That's true. Actually, that's a very good point.
It's our fault.
We're
too.
part of the problem.
Absolutely. So that's why we can start there.
Okay. Going forward, only women on set.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that brings me to my little thing I found. online.
Oh, story time.
Story time.
Oh, good. Okay. Cool.
So I found this really interesting article. I think I have a new girl crush.
Ooh.
Her name is Zoe Lister-Jones.
Ooh.
She's an actress and she's been on lots of TV shows and stuff. Never heard of any of the shows, but she's doing it.
Where's the article from?
Vulture.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. But they did like an interview and sort of this, I almost said a biopsy. They did a biopsy on her. Anyway.
We went to sleep early last night, kind of, after being awake.
I've also had a lot of caffeine. My brain is going like 20 million miles an hour. It's fine. But anyway, so she's an actress and all that, and that's how so many people have maybe are aware of her, Zoe Lister-Jones. But she's also a movie maker, and she came out with a movie recently called Band-Aid that was a huge hit at Sundance, and the movie was made with an all-female crew. So, she'd done like other, there's like a million parts of the story that I thought were really interesting. One of which was she kind of came from like an artsy family living in New York. She went, I think it was like Atlantic Theater Company, that school where David Mamet is like a part. So she had this story about how, he would like he'd drop by the school occasionally, and it would like everything would stop, and then they'd have to like do their scenes for him, and like he was just brutal. Like he's just notoriously, I think, like brutal. But
don't act, no acting, don't act.
And I mean, good. He probably gets great acting out of people, but like it can be really difficult.
Yeah.
And so people were doing their scenes, and he was just like destroying them one by one. And then she put up her scene, but it was like actually like a sketch that she had written, and put that up. And then he was like, "Who made this?" And she's like, "Oh, I made it." And he was like, "You should write a movie." And so to have that amazing feedback like that from someone like him is just like incredible. But it was interesting. She's like, that was also the beginning of my realizing like the like fragility, the male fragility, because like that was a cool thing that happened to her. She didn't think much about it otherwise. She was like, "Oh, it's neat. That's inspiring for me." There was a guy in class who just hated that she had gotten that feedback because he wanted the feedback, you know? So he decided that he was going to just start like knocking her down every possible moment he had, like any chance he could get to like take her down a peg, or you know, just keep telling her, "You're never going to make it, you're never going to make it." Well, fuck that dude, because she's killing it. And she's done she wrote a film with her I think it was her husband, called Breaking Upwards, which I think is on Netflix. And it's about their experiences being in an open relationship. And I like really want to see it. They made it for $15,000.
What?
That's it.
Oh my God.
That's very little money.
Give us $15,000.
But also that's not a lot of money to make a movie that's now on Netflix.
Right.
And like that's kind of cool. And so she's had these like little opportunities to like make these things and get some like headway going with her directing and her writing, or not her directing, but her writing. And then she'd be acting in these projects too. And then she wrote this movie called Band-Aid, which was the one that was in Sundance, and it was her first time directing. Oh. So she was like, "I'm going to take a stab at directing this movie that I wrote." And she decided she wanted to have an all-female crew. And one of the reasons why, and I totally get this, she was like, "I've never directed before, and I don't want to be picked apart by these dudes. I don't want to be like under a microscope and like have to like be trying to prove my woman, like my ability as a woman. I just want to like do my work and not worry about it." Exactly. And like, she's like, "I just don't want to have to think about it." So that was one of the reasons why she wanted to have an all-female crew. Also, she made it really clear in the article. She's like, "I didn't do this because I don't think men are capable, or that I'm trying to shit on men." She's like, "I just wanted to make it be a celebration of women and sort of an experiment. And like, let's see how this goes. Like, I'm just, you know, let's try to see how this, it could maybe be a disaster. Maybe it'd be great." Another thing that was interesting is as they were like hiring the people for the crew, they realized like there's this catch-22 in the business where these women never get the opportunity to do certain roles on set. So like driving the trucks and like being the focus puller, and like there's just all these things that women just don't ever get chosen to do or hired to do. So as a result, they don't have it on their resume, and they don't have this experience. So then you're like, you know, we don't hire any women because women don't have the experience doing it. I'm like, yeah, but they don't have the experience because you don't give them the experience. So like, it's this circular thing. So they realized like if they were committed to having an all-female crew, they were going to have to hire people that didn't have a lot of experience for certain positions. Right. And they said like, we could have gone into it saying, well, we'll just hire as many women as we can. But they said, no, we're committed to making it 100% female crew. And they said that the experience was really, really great. But one of my favorite things, so the only guy on set almost for most of the filming was the guy that played like the boyfriend in the movie and or the husband in the movie, and his name is Adam Paley. He's pretty famous. He's like in comedy stuff. So he was it. He was like the guy on set. Yeah. And I was so interested to see like what was his perspective on this experience, because he probably takes it for granted that he's surrounded by people of his own gender on sets and all that. So he had this quote I thought was great, and he says, "You instantly realize just like how horrible men are in the workplace, probably always in all jobs." He says, "Men are awful. They walk around with very little fear of repercussions because they're like, what's the worst that's going to happen to me? Nothing. While a woman has to work twice as hard or apologize for the fact that she's even there. When you come to a set like this and it's all women, all that ego goes away and you just have this really seamless collective that was working extremely hard and not judgmental at all. It was just about getting the job done, and that's a testament to Zoe." And I thought that was like, I was like, that's kind of the thing I would think would happen. You know what I mean? Or that's the experience I think. But to like to have that eyeball, thank God, like there was one man there to sort of like spread the message to the rest of the men. It's like, oh, this was really cool, actually.
Right.
So all this is like very feel good and happy. And I definitely want to see this movie now. The trailer looks amazing. But they were saying that like, she's not, so she made this thing. She's happy about it. And it got great reviews at Sundance, got great feedback at Sundance. And she's interested in like doing more directing now because she hadn't really done it before. And she'd be interested in doing, it's not, people think like, well, she's a woman, she'll do more like rom-coms or whatever. No, she's like, I want to do big films. Like I want to do like the next action movie or whatever. Like I want to, you make these smaller relationship movies because they're cheaper to make, but then you want to have the opportunity to make these bigger films. And that's actually is how it works. So like, for example, when What We Do in the Shadows, that small film about vampires came out, it was directed by this guy, and I cannot think of his name right now, but he's amazing. He's New Zealander, I'll think of his name, but he directed that film, and when they showed it, everyone was like, "Wow, if he can do this much with that little money, let's see what he can do with like a big budget." And then he did Thor, the best Thor movie that was ever made. So they literally went from that tiny film to like here's this giant budget, you got Thor. So they were saying that like it was. Really, again, Adam Paley was like, I was watching this thing happen where like, here she is. She got all this attention for this film. Where she did so much with so little. And
she's not directing.
Well, yeah, you think that. That's the thing. It's like you think that like the next step would clearly be that like just like all these men, they would be like, okay, well she did so much with this. Let's give her millions of dollars. But nobody did. So then, and if anything, like what they'd say to her instead of saying like, wow, you did a lot with this. Good for you. Like here, try this out. They turn to her and go like, wow, that must have been really hard for you to like make that film. Wow, that seems really hard. How'd you do that? And they said that in Hollywood, there's still this thing where like, if a woman director gets hired, which is again 4%, that's it.
4%.
If she gets hired, a lot of times the studios will start to question her abilities, and they start to hire all these men around her because they don't trust that she can actually get the job done, which makes no sense. There's no actually logical reason for any of these things. But that's why I think that like it is important to sometimes have these sets of just women, just to prove that like it's not, if you do have like that one guy on set, you don't want someone to be like, well, the only reason that film made it was because that one DP that was the guy, So it's, it is a cool experiment, but to just prove like, look, it's just filmmaking.
And
I think women fall into that trap too. I mean, I think that people like, you get into these weird mindsets where you're like, well, I guess a man has to do it.
Well, I was reading that the studios don't take a chance on women because there is no reflection of they'll make more money because of it. Thankfully, in 2019, stories are being reflected more of, there's more diversity in stories, more than ever, I think. And people are, I think less people are going to actual movies. But the box office, you have the box office to show how many more millions of dollars they're making. But there's no proof that if you have a female director. So why would they, they're just like, well, I know what, I'm just going to stick to what I know because I know I'm going to make $100 million with this.
There's also no proof that you'd make less money.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's what's so weird. It's like, but it's just another person.
People they won't think outside. Yeah.
It's really crazy. But that's why you just
it
have
all
to start
goes down to money
getting
too.
it. Yeah, and that's why you just have to start, everybody's got to start giving women opportunities from the bottom up so that then, they get the experience and all that.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting too. Like you have a movie. What is that? The Green Book. Where like here you have a movie where they're like, okay, this is a shoe in, right? It's about a strong black character, and they think everybody in the studio is like, oh, this is going to be great. Like we're doing the thing we're supposed to be doing. Blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, but then the entire crew is white. All the producers, all the writers, everything is white.
Right.
So the story is not coming from a black perspective.
No.
It's coming from a white perspective.
Right.
And everybody, they got called out so hard on that.
Right.
And so you think like that studio actually made more money? No, they did worse.
Right.
If they wanted to tell, tell the stories in a genuine way, from a genuine place, not from like the filter of like another white dude.
And enough of these stories of like, I think they're wonderful. These stories of growth from racist, being racist and then growing and not. But that is not a.
It's
that
so
is
bullshitty.
That is a story that is very important. But how about the real stories?
Yeah.
Let's just tell us fucking story.
Well, and also they made a really good point in Green Book where it was like you had a character who was this fascinating person who had like was doing like classical music in these white rooms. That was like that was such a big
groundbreaking
deal.
back then. Yeah.
And he was pushing through that. And then the movie ends up being about the white driver.
Right, learning that black people aren't that bad. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the story?
When it was that like and then there's scenes where like the white driver introduces the black.
I didn't see the movie.
Musician.
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
No, but I've been reading all about it. But then there's a scene where he introduces the black musician to like fried chicken and Aretha Franklin. And you're like, what is happening right now? Why is this white savior guy still? It's like I don't even know. It's like so much to unpack. But the bottom line is like, let's just stop making those movies.
Right.
Let's let the people that have the story to tell the story.
Right.
So women, people of color, like it just doesn't make any sense. So it's funny that like they're trying to place, I get it's money, whatever, but like they're losing money.
They're
actually losing money.
It's
by
an embarrassment.
Not doing,
Well, so last year at the Academy Awards, 0 women were nominated for directors. It was all men.
Yeah, but that's not even new.
Right. That's not. But I do think I'm hopeful that we're headed towards a better direction, but yet we're somewhat going backwards.
I don't think we're going backwards. I think we are moving forwards. I just think that like it's in such a small increment. But I think now that there's more awareness, like even that article gives me hope because I'm like, they're like really spelling it out in this really like clear way. And I just learned about a movie that I don't think I would have known about if I hadn't read the article. So it would have like kind of gone. It didn't hit my radar the way that I would have liked it to have, or maybe it would have if it had been written by a man or whatever.
Right.
But now I did read about it. Now I'm going to look into it. Now I'm inspired to make my own things even more.
Right.
And I'm inspired to hire more women in my projects. Right. I know this one, you met her, but this one woman that's a camera woman and like, she's trying to do more directing stuff and I want to work with her so bad.
Yeah.
We will. It's been cool though too. Cause like she does like camera work for TV stuff and, like assistant camera, which is very, very, very few women in the camera department.
Right.
And, but she like has lots of buddies. She feels really comfortable in that. They like treat her really nicely. She feels good in there. And then she got pregnant. And it's been interesting to see. She's like, it's not bad. She's like, it's just all of a sudden, I never felt like different in the group with the guys. Like I felt like just one of the guys and now I'm pregnant and it's like so obvious that I'm different. And it just is weird. And she's like, it's not necessarily bad yet, at least, but like it's different.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine.
So, and there is like a thing where when you're pregnant, like she's like, I can do all the work that I could do before. It's just maybe I have to do it differently. Like, so I can't carry everything at once. I have to like take more trips. And like, she's like, but I'm, no problem.
And she's still working. Though.
Yeah, she's still working.
Yeah. Right.
She's doing it. She loves her job, she's good at it. So anyway.
Well, my thing is that I just really want to talk about and highlight, Ava DuVernay.
Oh yes.
That woman is so inspiring.
Yeah.
For those of you all who don't know who she is, she's the first black woman to ever be nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards. She's the first woman of color to direct a film with a budget of $100 million. A Wrinkle in Time.
Yes. Did not see it, but I want to see it. It looked beautiful.
Right. And the reason why I really want to talk to her, I want to talk to her, but the reason why I want to bring her up right now is that, so this is pre-recorded, so this has come out since, but May 31st on Netflix, a 4-part series called When They See Us about the Central Park 5.
Yes, I heard about that.
Is coming out. So it's out now. So please, I mean, by the time this podcast comes out, I will definitely have watched it because, I'm not really supposed to talk about this, but I was in the room when they did a reading of this script. So that's about all I can say. I set up the coffee, basically. I'm a caterer, remember, sometimes on the side.
Yeah.
And I get to do these cool events. And that was one of the events. So she was there along with the original Central Park 5, as well as the actors. And they did a reading of the script. And I think it was about, well, I don't even think I can say when it was. But I was there. It was a while ago. And now it's really cool to see that it's out.
That's exciting.
But the thing about her is that, so she started off in PR. She did go to UCLA, but she didn't study film. But she, in Hollywood, I guess she had her foot in the door there in PR. And then she had stories to tell. I think she grew up in Alabama near Selma and had just family stories to share. She's a Black woman, and obviously it's about race. And so she did Selma. She did the documentary 13th. And so now,
so good too.
Right. And I think with her, so obviously these stories are about race, but it's just her experience in the world. And I just think that she's so powerful as a director, and knowing, like, to talk about the Central Park 5 is so important right now, I think.
Oh my God.
Because first off, I don't want people to ever forget about this, but our president, when this happened, this story happened, it's a true story, guys. If you don't know what we're talking about, my God, please look it up. A female jogger was driving. A female, that's how I jog.
Yeah.
A female jogger was in Central Park and was she was beaten and raped. And people were wrongly convicted of this. And there were a group of young boys between 14 and 16 years old. And I don't want people to forget ever that our president, when this happened in 1989, 2 weeks before the trial, 2 weeks after this incident, he put out in 4 New York newspapers calling for the death penalty for these young men without a trial.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely, and he still will not say he's wrong.
Right. Well,
still.
Right. He doesn't think, I don't think he thinks women or people of color are actually humans.
Right.
But that's the whole.
But again, that was in 1989, but he still 2019.
Right.
He
so
will
this
not.
is an important is a topic to be writing and making a movie about right now.
Because so many different things we're talking about in this 4-part series on Netflix. It's humanizing these people that were wrongly accused, and it's the assumption of criminality based on the color of your skin.
Totally.
Which, come on, like...
Well, we are very...
Right.
It's been a thing for a long time, but we're in the middle of it still.
And just how broken our system is and how it has to be fucking torn apart. Anyway, I am excited to see it, and I think that there's going to be really... This woman is just getting started.
Yeah. It's cool too. What I liked about her story too is that she started later in life. You know what I mean?
Right. She's an older,
and I love that too.
Yeah.
That she changed her career path,
right?
And that and made it work for her. And you have to work really hard when you do that, because a lot of times you don't just quit your job,
right?
And
you have a lot to prove,
and make a lot of money. Well, and also you have to learn. You have to learn,
right.
Because you're starting from nothing. So you have to be working your full time job, and then also making films and doing things on the side and writing whatever it is you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take the plunge at some point, but when you quit your job, you have to be able to know you can make money doing this,
right?
And that's so inspiring.
Yeah. I just think she's the coolest.
Yeah.
I would love for her to be on Difficult Women.
Oh my God.
I bet she's been called difficult just like us.
Oh, I would love to hear her stories of being called difficult.
Right.
I bet that's all over the place.
But it was so cool being in that reading and just peering and watching her she's incredible.
That's cool. It's cool you got to do that. One time I worked a job where I had to feed Clive Davis from Sony Records grapes.
Oh.
That was every Thursday I'd go to Sony Records and have a big meeting, and he would want his grapes at some time.
At a certain point?
At a certain time. But you never knew what. It wasn't like at 4:00 he has his grapes. It was watch him, and you're going to be able to see when he needs his grapes. And so I'd be like, I think he needs his grapes. And then sometimes he'd be
go in, put his grapes down.
I had to do it. It was me.
Jesus
I had to decide.
Christ.
And then also sometimes I'd come in with the grapes and he'd be like, no, they're too soon. And I'd be like, okay. And then you have to go back with the grapes. And they were all destemmed, and Seedless.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a very famous director who I will not name, but it was a man, and I was working at a hotel, and he was about to give a speech in the screening room, and he turned to me and he said, "I need to brush my teeth," and I was like, "Oh, what?" Like, okay.
Good luck. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then his people were like, "No, I need a toothbrush and toothpaste ASAP," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So because it's a hotel, we do have that stuff on hand. So, or did. I don't work there anymore. But grabbed a toothbrush, toothpaste, and then gave it to him. They pointed to the bathroom, and they said, "No, right now." So I had to give them a water bottle and a bowl to brush their teeth and then spit in, and then I got the bowl of the spit and had to throw it out. When the bathroom, and I'm not kidding, was 20 feet away.
Right, that's so annoying.
That's a power play.
I'm surprised too that he wasn't just like, brush them for me. I'd be like, okay.
Anyway.
That's funny.
It's so great. I can't wait to...
I'd be like, brush my butt.
Brush
Somebody brush my butt.
You brush my butt?
I'm famous, brush my butt. It needs to be brushed.
Oh my gosh. We're going to be so humble and wonderful people when we are when our film is...
I'll be like, send back this water. It's too wet. I want it less wet, this water. Please. That's how I'm going to be.
Yeah, I had an actress. We had to have it at a certain temperature, her water.
Exactly.
26
degrees
60,
Celsius.
68 degrees.
68
I was like, wow, that's chilly. But all right.
That's weird. I wonder if there's like a reason for that. Like, enzymes are
maybe,
working at their optimal
maybe
level.
Maybe they can't boop when it's 74 degrees,
Yeah.
Who knows? No judgment. Anyway,
no judgment. I judge that.
Okay,
I'll
great.
judge that. Are you kidding me?
Fuck that.
Yeah, there's water vaults. Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. So fuck that lady.
Yeah, fuck that lady. Do you think send this back. It's not 68 degrees.
Yeah. I'm not into that.
Well, I thought it'd be fun. So we've been reading troll comments on our videos. We thought it might be fun to go to some of these famous directors that we just talked about and read some of the trolls on their page. So let's do it. Let's do it.
So obviously it's not just us that get troll comments. And I will say, I was just looking up the trailer for this, the Band-Aid movie, and so many good comments. I mean, lest we forget, there's some really great comments. And apparently someone was even saying like, this trailer doesn't even do the movie justice. It's even better. Good. So that's really exciting. But of course I was like, maybe there's no troll comments on here. There's two. One just says, I don't like it. Just like,
that's fine.
That, but why do you have to say that? It's sort of funny. And then this other one, I was like, of course, I knew this was going to come up. The guy writes, all female film crew, and they brag about it like it's something to be proud of. Sexist.
Get out of the way.
Get out of here. Get the fuck
he
out
doesn't
of here.
know where the clit is.
No,
get out of the way.
It's so funny. But like, I love it. I don't know, whatever. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Well, I tried to find some troll comments on When They See Us trailer. And you know what? I couldn't find any. They're all beautiful, wonderful, uplifting comments about how how exciting that Netflix is telling the story. Lots of love for Ava. Lots of people saying I'm already crying because of this trailer.
Great.
So it's all beautiful things.
I love
that is great.
That's something to celebrate.
Blessings to the Central Park 5. Lots of that. So
that's lovely.
I like that.
I like that too.
Fuck the trolls.
We don't have to be so negative all the time.
No. This is an uplifting podcast.
Is it? It is. I feel uplifted. I legit feel inspired after reading that Vulture thing, though.
Yeah, that's
I want to go write all the films.
Yeah.
I'm going to write all of them. Hire all these lovely ladies to work on them with me. It's going to be great. I just got to write something good.
Right.
I'll write about... I'll just rewrite the Trolls movie.
Troll, yeah.
Just like...
if you're a male filmmaker out there listening...
Keep going. Keep doing it.
Keep doing it, but hire some women to work on crew. I worked on Younger recently as just, I was a clarinet player in the orchestra. And it was so exciting to be on set because there were a lot of women.
That's great.
There was a woman camera operator, and there were, I think most of the PAs were female.
Great.
All the assistants were female.
Yeah.
It was.
keep
I
it
was
up.
like, yes,
Let's
this is
get
great.
some like grip members,
Yes.
and some gaffers,
Yes,
and some
yes.
sound people, and some
Right.
keep with that the camera stuff. Some focus pullers and best girls.
Best
Some
girls.
best girls in there.
What's a best boy?
I don't know.
I always see it in the credits. I'm like, yeah, you can go, boy.
I think he's like the number one gaffer
Oh, okay.
or something like that. I'm probably wrong. Write me an email if you think if I'm
Yeah,
wrong. Send us an email.
Difficult Women
Let us
Podcast
know.
at Gmail.
Yeah.
Well, I think I figured out what song we should play out because our experience with that one person when we were making our thing influenced the song. Remember, we were so heated up about it
Yes.
that we started writing this
Particular song.
that
true.
when we play it, I still get really mad.
Yeah.
We don't play it often because we get so mad about it, but it's
Yeah.
a great one and there's a video for it. So I think,
Take a listen.
take a listen.
Thanks for joining us.
Tune in next
Stay
week.
tuned, yeah.
Oh, guys, for sure, if you're listening, please subscribe, rate, review us on iTunes. Let's hear some reviews. What do you think about the pod?
Yeah, let us know.
Do our voices turn you on? Should we whisper more?
Do we have too much vocal fry?
Do I say like too much? Because I know I do.
I say I'm too much, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, this is great. I hope that we've inspired you to create your next big movie.
And if not, we hope we inspired you to check out some new movies that you maybe wouldn't have thought of before that are directed or written by women. Mm-hmm. Expand your mind.
Yep.
All right. Well, enjoy the song. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come home from my trip to IKEA. Excited to build, but then I see ya. You say, little lady, I'll show you how it's done. Now I know this dumb shit's begun. Cut to what should have been a 10-minute task. It's turned into a 3-hour pain in my ass. I don't need any help with those shelves, 'cause I've done it billions of times before all by myself. Hey dude, don't tell me what to do. Just 'cause you got a penis, that don't make you a genius.